everybody. This is Mike from ASA for a free pick for you on Saturday, October 28th. This week it comes from the AAC, the American Athletic Conference. The game's at 12 noon Eastern time, so an early game. It's a game involving Tulsa and SMU, and in that game we're using under the team total for Tulsa. Tulsa's team's total is set at 18.5. We think Tulsa's going to score under 18.5 points versus SMU in that game. First of all, SMU hasn't been known for defense the last few years, but this year they're really good. They're in the top 15 nationally in total defense, yards per play allowed, and pass defense, and they're in the top 30 in rush defense. The only two teams that have topped 18.5 points on SMU this year were two Big 12 teams, TCU and Oklahoma. In the Oklahoma game, Oklahoma scored 28 points, only 365 yards for the Sooners, which was their lowest of the season, versus this SMU defense. Minus those two Big 12 games, in the other 5 games, SMU has given up an average of 8 points per game on the season, and that's it. They're playing a Tulsa offense that struggles mightily to score. They've put up 17 points or fewer in 4 of their last 6 games. The 2 games in which they did top 17 points, one was against Northern Illinois. In a game, they only had 280 yards. They scored 22 points, Tulsa did, and only 280 yards in that game. The other game they topped 17 total points was against Temple, who ranks 130th in scoring defense, giving up 42 points per game, so not a shock there. In their last 2 games alone, this Tulsa offense has really looked poor. They scored 10 points versus Rice in their most recent game. Rice is ranked 82nd in total defense. And they scored 17 points prior to that versus Florida Atlantic team that ranks outside the top 100 in total defense. Tulsa is only averaging 20.7 points per game this year if you subtract their one FCS game. And in those games, they've played 6 opponents whose average defense rank is 78th. So they're scoring barely 20 points a game against a defensive schedule that ranks 78th average in total defense. And now they face a top 15 defense this week. They're terrible at passing. Tulsa can't throw the ball. They rank outside the top 110 in passing yards, passing attempts per game, and passing completions per game. So they need to run to be successful offensively. We don't think that happens here. They're facing an SMU defense that gives up 116 yards per game rushing, which is in the top 30, on only 3.2 yards per carry, which is in the top 25. SMU's defense should completely control this game against a poor Tulsa offense. We don't think Tulsa gets over 18.5 points. So again, we're going to use Tulsa under 18.5 total points for their team total versus SMU this Saturday at 12 noon Eastern time. That'll be it for this weekend. Be sure to check each day in the NFL and during the week now that NBA, NHL, and college basketball coming up soon. We'll have free picks for you throughout the week on our YouTube channel. Check asawins.com. Thanks, everybody, and have a great Saturday.